Before I start, I gotta say this because this is just necessary. These are just theories. Even the ones I say I believe, it's just like me entertaining the idea. I'm not saying that these are true. I'm not saying any of these are true. So yeah, don't sue me. Thank you. Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about some conspiracy theories. Alright, so this video idea was requested of me by one of my patrons, Ben. He actually technically requested that I rank A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I had agreed to, and then I just kind of got this like feeling in the back of my head when I sat down to write my ranking. It's like, I feel like I've done this before, and I checked. I have done this before, so I'll link the video here. And I rewatched it. My ranking has not changed, so I didn't feel like I needed to redo the video. So I decided to go with one of Ben's other ideas and talk about conspiracy theories. And Ben suggested that I talk about the ones that I believe, but again, when I sat down to write this, I don't really believe in that many conspiracy theories. I love watching videos about conspiracy theories. I don't really actually fully believe that many theories. So I thought I would add in a couple more categories in here. So the first little group of theories I'm going to talk about are theories that I don't believe in, but I understand why other people do. The first is that elections are rigged. Now I will explain really quick. I don't fully believe this because I feel like most people that would believe that's real are also believing it's like they're being rigged by super rich people that, you know, or like the Illuminati or something like that, and because they have an agenda, so they want a certain person to be elected, blah, 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 blah. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe, without getting too much into politics, I believe our government is set up in such a way that, at least in presidential elections, if you're not a Democrat or Republican, you're not gonna win. I believe that, but I don't believe that's like some grand conspiracy by like the Illuminati or anything like that. Second one on this is the simulation theory, and that's just like kind of like an umbrella term. There are a couple of different like avenues you could take with the simulation theory. It's so much fun to watch videos about this theory. It's so much fun, or especially like compilations, like people make like video compilations on YouTube of like the simulation glitching and stuff like that, like just weird stuff caught on film where it's like it's inexplicable and it's like the only thing is like we're in a simulation and something glitched out. So it's a super fun theory to entertain. And I mean, when you're like watching it, there are a lot, there's like quite a few good points of like compelling evidence for some of these simulation theories, but overall I just like, I don't know, I don't believe it. Deep in my gut, I can't bring myself to like subscribe to that theory. And I know everyone in the comments is gonna be like, but how would you know? Like, I wouldn't, but. So this next section are the ones I do believe in. And some of them, I mean, I'll kind of explain like, well, I'll get into it. The first one is the Titanic sinking. Really quick, there is a conspiracy theory that the sinking of the Titanic was planned, that the Titanic that sank was actually a ship called the Olympic that was damaged, and it was like, it's basically like this huge insurance fraud situation. They wanted the insurance money for the Olympic, so they swapped them, and the Titanic, which was actually the Olympic, so the theory says, sank, and they got their insurance money and blah blah blah. And there is a lot of really compelling evidence for this. There's a couple like bits of evidence, especially like now that the hull of the Titanic has been discovered, that disprove it. But there are just a lot of weird coincidences. Like the whole thing of like JP Morgan like mysteriously canceling he was supposed to be on the Titanic, and he mysteriously got sick, as some people say, and didn't make the trip. And there was also, I saw something too about like a book that was written, I guess before it came out, called The Wreck of the Titan or something like that, which is basically relays, I'll put the book up here and the date it was published and stuff like that. I can't remember it specifically. but it basically relays exactly what happened. Like, it's about like an ocean liner that crashes and sinks in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's like eerily close to what actually happened. And it's called The Wreck of the Titanic. Next one is the Illuminati. Sort of, again, but this one I believe a little bit more than the elections are rigged. So like, I mean, the Illuminati was like a legit group back in the day. Like, there was actually a group called the Illuminati. So that's part of the reason why I'm like, you know, it was a group at one point and it was a secret society, so who's to say it hasn't always been there, or somebody started it up again at one point. It's a secret society, how the hell would we know? So I don't, I do genuinely believe that there are powerful people that like are trying to control like the media and the government and celebrities and all of this stuff, like, because it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like you can't not believe it. Like, it's in movies all the time, like how corrupt like corporations and, you know, the wealthy are and things like that. Like, I say that like just a general broad term, you know, and I know movies aren't always realistic, but I'm just like, that's plausible, you know, like like if you're a bad person, or if you're like already kind of a corrupt person and you have all this money and all this power, like there have to be people that would do something like this, you know what I mean? Like, that they would throw their weight around, and by weight I mean they're like bags of money weight. So I mean, I feel like that's completely plausible. Absolutely. The other one that I really do believe in is, I don't even know if this, like, does this even count as a conspiracy theory? I think it's 100% true. That Big Pharma is deliberately making us ill so that they can make more money. So really quick, I'll explain. Big Pharma is kind of like the name you use for just the pharmaceutical industry. You can also look at Big Agro, which is the agricultural industry in general. I don't know, I just feel like it totally makes sense, because so many people nowadays, like people I know personally, like in my family included, take so many medications. It's terrifying, actually. It's like, it's quite terrifying, like how many pills they take a day. And I know that this is kind of just like a US thing. We have so many advertisements for prescription medications that it's like every other commercial break, there's a commercial for like some sort of like depression medication or bipolar medication or all these other things. And of course, like the terrifying part of those commercials is half of the commercial is devoted to listing the potential side effects and and symptoms and stuff that you can acquire by taking this medication, which a lot of them, it's like, would you rather have eczema or would you rather have suicidal thoughts? Like, it's terrifying, like the side effects of these. And so it would only make sense that taking a medication for this one ailment has all of these side effects. You know, it's plausible that if you take it for a long enough time, maybe you start to develop some other ailment, and then you start taking medication for that, and that medication comes with all these other side effects. So that one out of the entire list is one that it's just like, I'm like fully on board. I'm like, to me, it's not even a theory, it's just a fact. And then finally, I thought I would talk about some of the super popular conspiracy theories. Like, these are some really popular ones that I am just like, it's a hard pass. No, it's a no from me. I don't believe this. Oh, we'll start off light. It's the chemtrail on planes. So there is a theory that what is normally called the contrail, like the condensation trail on planes, which is a combination of like water and the engine exhaust they see from planes. Some people believe that on certain planes and things like that, there are chemicals being distributed into the air. Some people believe like it's to control like weather, or, you know, to help, you know, to control radiation. It's being used as some sort of like chemical or biological weapon to like make us all docile and control us and things like that. I just it kind of goes along with another theory that I'm going to talk about in a second, but I just feel like there's not enough strong evidence to believe like why the government would do that. That kind of goes into the next one, which is the fluoridated water, which is like part theory, part fact, because it's a fact that we actually do fluoridate our water. But where it delves into theory territory is there are people that believe that the government purposefully is fluoridating the water to drug us, to make us docile. And there's a lot of side effects to like getting too much fluoride that could lead to big pharma benefiting from it as well. But I feel like if you look at the history of why water fluoridation became a thing in the first place, the researchers that discovered the fluoride in the water, because it does occur kind of naturally in freshwater and saltwater. So in that sense, there is like trace amounts of fluoride even in like vegetation and things like that. So if you look at like the history of like us discovering the fluoride in the water and starting to actually fluoridate the water ourselves in places where the fluoride wasn't so naturally, you know, it wasn't in abundance in the water. Did that make sense? I feel like I'm kind of just like, I don't believe that. The next two are big ones. Like when you think conspiracy theory, you think these two things. They are the moon landing being fake and aliens crashing at Roswell and the government covering it up. The moon landing one, I feel like could almost fall into that category of like, I can see why some people would believe that. There's the whole thing with like the wind, like the flag looked like it was blowing in the wind, and you know, scientists are like, that wouldn't happen in space, blah, 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 blah. And there's, you know, you could argue like with the space race, like that the United States was so desperate to get to the moon first that they faked it. But I feel like that's risky because anybody else following you to the moon that would potentially go to the moon after, they would naturally, like what if they went to the same spot and they didn't see the flag that you supposedly put there, and then it would be debunked, right? They'd be like, well, they faked it because we went to the same spot and there's no flag. And with the whole aliens thing, and I guess this kind of goes into Area 51 and stuff like that. I do believe in aliens. That's not what the question is here. I definitely believe in aliens. The universe is too big for us to be the only life forms at all. I just do not believe that. What I don't believe, however, is any motive that the government would have for covering up alien life. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they could reach us, we would know. And I know some people will be like,
well, they crashed and they didn't intend it, blah, blah, blah.
But also, I feel like it again kind of goes along with the space race here. Like, I feel like throughout history, throughout at least the United States of America's history, we want to be like the first and the best at everything. So I just don't believe as Americans we would find an alien life form and not tell the entire world about it. That's just what I believe. I feel like we would be bragging to literally everybody that we found the first signs of alien life and all this stuff. Like, why would they hide it? Somebody tell me in the comments, like, why, what would their motive be for hiding it? And especially for this long as well. So that, in short, maybe not in short, I feel like I rambled on for very long, is conspiracy theories that I kind of believe, do believe, and don't believe. So let me know in the comment section what conspiracy theories that you subscribe to and what ones you think are total BS. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can ring the notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video, even though it like never works. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!
This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed on the left-hand side of the screen. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link that is in the description of this video. No pressure, but it's there if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye!